There's some drama going on. Streaming is more draining than regular jobs. Millionaire, Hasan, and Asmongold complain. This is pretty controversial. That's pretty controversial.
Do you want to know the biggest privilege these guys got?
Got what?
They choose to stream 9 hours.
100%.
They literally can turn it off after 4. They can turn it off after 5. But because they want to make more money, they keep streaming. And then they want to get up here and then complain.
That is true. You make your own hours as a streamer. That's why the job is great. You don't see me complaining. Okay. So like, I'm gonna give my take on this. I'm gonna let you guys see what everyone is talking. This is what everyone is talking about right now. This is like the big thing that people are upset about. It's what's trending on Twitter. It's what's trending on YouTube. Yeah, so like, if you like, you can turn off the stream, right, and just like choose not to stream, but then you don't just like lose that money, but you lose more money. So there's like opportunity cost that goes into it too. Turning off the stream is really not a crazy option for a smaller creator like myself. Like if I just chose to not stream for a month, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna be homeless. You know what I mean? Like I can't really do that. But he is right. Asmon and Hasan, yeah, they could just turn off the stream.
About how hard it is. You're literally choosing it. That's like you do it for money and then complaining it hurts. Today's topic, our favorite socialist is getting in trouble. Hamas Piker.
Bro. Don't bring this shit into it, man. What are you doing right now? Oh my god, bro. I'm gonna get canceled.
That's a good one.
That's the nickname people are giving him all night.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean?
Yes, it does. I've worked real jobs. They're soul sucking. For those of you that don't know my backstory, I have worked in a lot of different things. I have been a laborer, so I've worked in like, I worked as like a yard, like with a yard company, like cutting grass and stuff. I've worked at Walmart. I've worked as a medical scribe in the emergency department for minimum wage, working alongside doctors with doctor's hours, getting treated like shit. I've worked as a clinical research coordinator. I have been a teacher. I waited tables for probably like 5 years at various different restaurants. I was a busboy for a long time. I've been around. I haven't done all. I also worked at Disney for a while too, and was super poor down there. So I was almost homeless down at Disney, with an internship. So like I've done soul sucking like labor shit before. I'm telling you right now, those jobs, like especially like Walmart, right? Walmart was one of the most soul sucking shit dick ass experiences I have ever had in my entire life. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's way better than, or it's way worse than streaming. It's not even remotely close.
In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
He is absolutely right. 9 hours of streaming is incredibly draining on you. It's a tough thing to explain to you guys, but like you're under a lot of like eyes, right? A lot of people are watching you. Everything you say and do is under like a lot of pressure, like all the time. And you're just trying to be entertaining for 9 straight hours. There's no breaks when you're streaming. So like, does it have hard parts to the job? Yeah, absolutely. But also, I'm sitting inside. It's air conditioned. There's no heavy lifting. Like I'm sitting. I'm not gonna complain. See, because I've done jobs where it's like, bro, it's you're just piling cement into a hole. You're pouring cement for like 9 hours in 104-degree heat. Yeah, no, that was way more draining than streaming was, right? Like, it is draining. Streaming is absolutely. It's like socially exhausting. Is probably is a good way, emotionally and mentally. But like, I don't know. I'm an extrovert, so it doesn't really feel too bad. Like, am I drained? Yes. I will say that I felt more drained during my 18-day subathon than I probably had ever been in my life. But see, I was working around the clock. I was always on camera for 18 straight days. that was draining on a level that I was not prepared for. That was super hard. But like you can't use that as a metric for like normal streaming. That wasn't a normal thing. That was different. Streaming has its like difficulties. Like any job is going to have its difficulties, but like this is the best job I've ever had.
Shut that shit off, please.
I used to be a teacher. Do you have any idea how hard teaching is? For your first few years? Holy shit.
Shut up.
You have no idea. That is draining. Teaching is draining. Teaching will drain it out of you, dude. Because it's not just the 9 to 5 of teaching. No. Then you got to go home and do homework. You got to make sure the lessons are ready. Don't worry, parent-teacher conferences are tonight. Oh, and now I got to field some dumb email by some dumb dipshit parent about what I'm doing is not good enough. Holy dude. And then the kids don't appreciate it. Oh, don't even. My kids were good though. I liked my students.
Oh God.
But damn.
So a nurse that doesn't have a real job?
You know what? According to Hasan, people took him out of context. So let's see the full video.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in retail,
I've worked in retail.
it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here, and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same way as someone who did a sales job, a real job. Okay.
A sales job. I've done sales. It doesn't really. I don't really feel like my social battery was being pushed during a sales job. I was really stressed out, you know, because you're trying to like push sales, but like I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was my social. Like I didn't want to go socialize after like making a bunch of sales for the day. I don't know. But like I see what he's saying. You get drained. You know what I mean? Like socially, you just don't want to do anything. Like obviously, I would stream for 10 hours. I don't want to have to go out with my friends after that, right? I'm kind of a loner in that regard because you know you're tired. But like, it's the job.
Okay. I'm telling you, as someone who did both, 9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing taps you out from social scenarios. After
I'm okay. Look, I don't want to be that guy, but like, what's Hasan's backstory? I could have sworn Hasan's parents like owned Turkey or something. What, isn't he from like an immense amount of wealth? I don't remember. His parents are well off. Okay, so he hasn't have really had to work incredibly hard, right? So like, I don't want to take anything away from him. He works hard as a streamer. Don't get me wrong. He absolutely works hard as a content creator. He works hard as a streamer, but I think he's outside of his element trying to say that he works like that streaming is harder than the labor jobs that he's referring to, because I don't think that he's done these labor jobs. Retail is not. Also, I would not compare retail, like sales is not a labor job. It's not. He's talking about a real job. I don't know. Like I feel like anything that would qualify as a real job in my book is something that's going to give you a consistent paycheck, you know, where a company is like paying you, right? Or like somebody is paying you for services, right? For services rendered. That's like a real job, right? I don't know if I would use like sales as like my definition of a hard job. Salesmen can have it really easy. In a lot of sales, like, bro, my friend sleeps in his truck like half the day for sales, and then he works like 10 minutes. Like he goes, pops off for like 20 minutes making a sale, boom, he's done for the day. It's not really that hard, but like I can understand there are some retail jobs where you got to stand out front. You got to like for 8 hours. It is kind of soul sucking. I get. Oh, it is completely soul sucking. It's miserable. It's also physically draining. Streaming is not very physically draining. Mentally and emotionally and socially draining, yes, but not physically.
For 9 hours of that, I could probably
lawn care. Oh, dude, be dead. Lawn care is miserable. It's not the worst job that I ever had, but lawn care was rough. It was rough.
Physical labor, it would not bother me, but I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point.
That's true. That is absolutely true. I don't want to go out and do more social shit, but like after I finish streaming. But here's the deal. Name a job where you worked for 8 to 10 hours and then you want to go out with your friends afterward. How many of us want to do that? Right? It doesn't like Every once in a while, some people, sure. Maybe like 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week tops. Like, oh my God, that's a lot, man. Normally you're kind of tired, right? So you just go home and you just deal with your family or whatever, like that you have going on at home. I don't know. That's just me. That like, I used to be really tired when I finished any job. I didn't really want to go out and go to a party or anything, unless I was a waiter. When you're a waiter, yeah, your shifts are only like 4 hours. You make a few $100, and then you all go out and party and have sex with each other afterward. That's how waiting tables works, dude.
Obviously, real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people-pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are like, I think.
Yeah, no, if you haven't worked as a waiter, you don't understand what it's like. You work like a 4 to rush. You come in at like 4, you work through the dinner rush, and then most of the waiters are leaving for the night. You make your money and you leave. It's really short hours for really high pay. Because you're working off tips, right? The waiting tables was the best job I had in college. It made more money than anything else I did. Mainly because I was good with people. Bro, I'm good with people. I can wait tables. As you might imagine, right? Like, now I'm a streamer. It makes sense. But like...
customer service type shit. But like, if you're an accountant or if you're...
But like, typically, they hire like attractive people to be waiters. I'm the exception to the rule, obviously. But like... So the waiters are all like generally attractive people, and obviously the women that you're working with are attractive, and you all just kind of go out because you have cash, right? Like, you all just go out after, and you know, things happen.
Even like in sales, my interactions with clients was limited, way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours with like a back and forth interaction for 9 hours. That's what like sucks your social battery, and you just tap out after it.
I'll just leave you guys.
Yeah, think about it this way. Like, you give presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like...
He's not wrong. It is draining. It's tiring. It's work. But here's the thing. I get to choose when I'm working. My job's awesome. If I want to hit go live, I can start working. And I can do that whenever the fuck I want. I can go live at 3 a.m. I can go live at 3 p.m. I can wake up at 5 in the afternoon and just start streaming. Like, I can come in, I can go, I can come, I can go. It doesn't matter. Like, I make my own hours. But like, the caveat is you have to have a really good like self-work ethic, right? And your mental has to be really strong. Like, there are really hard things that go into streaming, but like, one of the pros is you can technically choose your hours, right?
After a while, you'd be like, I don't want to talk ever again.
Not to mention the potential salary is huge when streaming. His is. Most streamers, Kalia is in the chat. So Kalia is the example I'm going to use. I used to be where Kalia was, like approximately, like creator-wise. I know how much money you make when you are not in the top 1% streaming. You are making zero money. For the amount of work that you put in, you are making nothing. People talk in terms of dollars per hour. If you're not sitting in the top 1% of like the 1% on Twitch, you're making dick. You're making basically nothing. But if you're doing it as a full-time job and you're sitting in the top 1%, I would agree. You are well compensated for your time. I am better compensated now than I ever have been in my life. But for reference, the most high-paying job that I have ever had outside of streaming was teaching. So the bar is really low. Okay? Like, that bar is impossibly low. So like, making more money than any other time in my life is like really easy to do, but I am doing it. So I would consider that well compensated.
That's the context.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what jobs you worked at, but it seems like
you get that much money sitting down, you have nothing to complain about. Well, every job's going to have its hard points, right? Everybody can complain about their job, right? I would say the biggest complaint for streamers is you're probably get like the mental. You're going to get shook. People are gonna berate you. People are gonna be belligerent. People are gonna lie about you. People are gonna make up false stories and narratives, say horrible shit about you. You're gonna get a lot of hate. So your mental has to be really strong, and that sucks. And your emotionally, that's gonna take its toll. But like, you know, every job has its problems. You don't really see people complaining about it. Plus, you are never gonna convince the people that you are streaming to that streaming is a hard job. It doesn't matter. I could sit up here all day and explain to you all the intricacies of streaming. You guys would be like, you man, you get to sit in a chair all day and stream video games. And I would be like, that's fair.
you don't know what the you're talking about. And you're saying
You're never going to convince people that streaming is a hard job.
Sometimes the people that you have to judge.
Mainly because the people that have worked understand that it's not. Like, I have worked. This is the best job I've ever had. It's not the easiest job I've ever had. Not by any means. It's the best job I've ever had.
Sometimes the people that you have to please in your job are your bosses.
Yeah, true.
Or coworkers.
Oh, no, we haven't gotten to Asmongold's part yet. Asmon's in
doing
here
those
too.
jobs, and they are the one that are draining you. Your coworkers. Your definition of what a client is very limited. A client can be someone from outside of your work, comes into your.
You guys are my bosses. You guys are my bosses. Okay, so like this analogy kind of works, but like it's if your boss came in every once in a while and just was like bald. Okay, like it's a little different.
Your work, and then you have to serve them. But a client can also be other departments of your job that depend on your position. That's considered a client.
And that's people pleasing. When you have to work with other departments and have to bend over backwards to just make sure no problems exist, you are people pleasing.
If every 6 months you have to have a report, and you're not dealing with people outside of your work.
Yeah, okay, so they make a good point, but like, yeah, every 6 months you got to have a report of all, like, you got to people please, probably, like people can report on you and like tell them how happy they are with you. Yeah, other jobs have people pleasing, have social aspects, but streaming has a whole, it's a whole other, you guys review me every day. Y'all motherfuckers, if I say something stupid, if I have a bad, I don't have bad takes, but like, if I say something stupid or you guys don't agree with something that I say, you guys are going to let me know immediately.
You're just dealing with people inside of your work. And every 6 months, your boss meets you and it's like, yeah, we're going to see how you're doing at the job. You have to please your people, which are your bosses and whatever standards that they're.
I have to please you guys. I have to make content that is really, really good, right? But like everybody has jobs that they have to please. You have to please boss. Yeah, like he said, like this is. And to be honest with you, you guys have it way harder than I do.
In the company.
Here's the truth about our favorite champagne socialist. Okay, he comes from one of the richest families in Turkey.
See, that's what I thought. I don't know Hasan's like whole backstory, but like I do know like a vague amount about him and where he came from and stuff.
Okay, he's incredibly wealthy. He's always been from a wealthy family.
Hey, there it is.
So this trust fund baby goes on to be a very successful streamer and makes it. You don't really know about this hard work life. That's why a lot of these dudes who.
I would not necessarily say that. Just because he came from a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean he didn't have to work hard in his life. But he brings up a good point.
Before the people never come from backgrounds that are actually of the people. He is top 1% today, and even back then when he was part of his family, he was top 0.1%.
He gets to yell back though at the screen and constantly does. It's not like you can yell at shitty customers. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. That is a good point. I can just ban you guys if I really don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean?
In Turkey, the
good
truth
point
about Hasan.
But I see both sides of this argument, but obviously I disagree fundamentally with the sentiment that streaming is somehow a hard job. When I used to work at, I've lived paycheck to paycheck living at Walmart. I've lived where like my bank account is negative and I'm homeless and I can't buy food for the next 3 days. Like I've been there. I don't like that. Streaming is not like, I compare it to that. It's not even remotely close.
Talking about crazy. Work and everybody misunderstanding and they're being really stupid and low IQ when they're listening to responses. This is just a brat who's always been a bit rich brat, and he's talking about real jobs like he has the experience, but he doesn't. And he's not.
Yeah, I don't know if Hasan's ever had like a job where you had to clock in. You know what I mean?
Not the only one.
Like maybe he had like retail, right? But that you don't clock in really for that. No, you ever worked in fast food or like as a busboy or something? Oh, dude.
Because Asmongold, okay,
it's homeless for 5 years. Okay, well I wasn't homeless for that long. I was homeless for a few weeks. So that was miserable.
Reacted to this. I actually like Asmon. I think Asmongold is cool.
We obviously like Asmon,
even if he looks homeless every day.
He be kind of spitting.
He is my favorite homeless millionaire streamer. This has been my opinion observing most streamers and content creators. Most of them are completely out of touch with reality.
So people getting mad. It's a bad take. What's it a bad take of? He says.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I say most streamers do it part-time.
He gets exhausted socially because he's talking to people for 9 hours a day. You really think that's
true? He's not. Asmon's not wrong when he says that.
You really think that's not true?
That's 100% true. You do get tired. You get really you get like socially drained. Like, you know, like you're on stage for 9 straight hours. You know what I mean? It's tough.
That's not what he said.
Okay.
I mean, you really think it's not true?
That's not the only thing that he said. He didn't say that he's drained because he's working 9 hours a day and he's talking to people for 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I can understand the fact that you're going to be drained.
Okay, yeah.
He said that his job is more draining than any normal job,
excluding retail.
Okay, yeah. See, that was a mistake. Yeah. See, like that's how okay, that was a good way of saying it. They're more tactful than I am. Exactly that. Is streaming draining? Absolutely, it's draining. Every job is going to have its difficulties, as I said before. But to compare it to something like the normal job, you're nuts. You are crazy. Especially when he's getting paid as much as he is. Like, the amount of money he's making for work put in is wild. Dude, wild. I accidentally skipped ahead. Streaming is hard when you take it the wrong way. You don't stream to earn money. But if at some point you do, then you make sure you earn enough to not worry about it the next day if you decide to go all in. Good morning, sir. Joj, that's exactly right. That's exactly how I took streaming. That's why I was a teacher and a streamer, right? I was a research coordinator and a streamer, right? It was never my main job, but I worked really hard at it for a really long time. It was never really my effort, like my thought process that I was going to be a full-time streamer. Yeah, obviously that was maybe the dream someday, but like I was never really doing it to make a bunch of money. And all the money I did make off streaming, all of the money, like the $100 to $200 a month that I was making off streaming for the first like year that I streamed, I put it right back into the stream. All of the equipment that I have right now that I use today, that's all from like the stream that like it paid for itself. I wasn't making any money. I was just taking the money and putting it back in and then some. That's just how you should look at streaming. It's a hobby, right? And if you're good enough at it, it can become your job.
Hours a day and he's talking to people for 9 hours a day. I can understand that. I can understand the fact that you're going to...
Pre-bald squadron dumping jugs of water onto his face and throwing up mid-shot calling. That is true. Humble? Yes. Oh, but...
Be trained.
I try to be humble.
He said that his job is more draining than any normal job.
It's not.
Excluding retail.
Go work at Walmart for 10 hours. I'm not joking. Walmart is like the most shithole. I hated working at Walmart. It was the worst, man. Of all the places that I worked at, Walmart was by far the most soul-drainingly shit job that I'd ever had. Because it was a dead-end, deadbeat job for minimum wage pay. It's dog shit. The atmosphere sucks. No one wants to be there. It's just clock in, how little work can I do, but I'm on my feet the whole time. It's just terrible. I hated it. You're paycheck to paycheck the whole time. Oh my god.
Be fair.
And life doesn't work like that.
Nope.
If he just had said, my work, what I do right now, is extremely draining.
There it is.
You would have just said that.
That's what I say, right? Like I say, like, guys, I'm drained. You know what I mean?
I would have been like, yeah, my man.
But what did he say?
But you said that your job.
These two are so good with their camera work. It's actually insane.
Is more draining than any normal real job. No.
No, it's not. That's correct.
No, my guy. No. It doesn't work like that.
Correct.
The world doesn't work like that. Nothing works like that.
Correct.
But what you're gonna include nurses? You're gonna talk to me about people in the
I've worked alongside nurses and doctors and stuff. You're drained. I was a medical scribe, which means I have to be right next to the doctor the whole shift, writing down every single thing that happens and every single thing that they say. You're documenting everything. You got a little laptop and you're just running with them room to room in an emergency room situation. And you're just typing everything down as fast as you can. And then you're on to the next room, right? Like you're eating at the same time the doctor eats. You're working the same hours the doctor works. Like you sometimes have to help out with shit. And you're getting paid like minimum wage. And I'm telling you right now, that sucks. The nurses had it worse than I did in many cases. Except, well, They're getting paid a lot better though than the scribes are. That's for sure. But like, they're definitely still underpaid. Like,
yeah, but they're saying
not as underpaid as teachers are, but they're still underpaid.
socially doesn't drain their batteries.
It could.
Oh, it definitely drains your battery socially as a nurse. It absolutely, you like, and really what it is you have to deal with the 18-year-old that snuck out in the middle of the night because she was grounded and went to a rave and somebody gave her some laced Molly and then she fell over and had a heart attack, and then you're the one that has to go out and tell the parents that she didn't make it. Tell me that you're not socially drained after that situation.
Dylan, what are you? I know you trolling. You just trolling.
But I think his point is that a lot of these people who work in these kinds of jobs after work, they like to go out. They like to go out, grab beers.
No.
You know what I mean? Accountants will do that.
Yeah,
but then,
I'm with him. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, they don't. No job that I have ever had, and I've done a lot of jobs, like I said before. No job I've ever had have I ever been like, yeah, let's go out after, except for waiting tables. Waiting tables is different.
That's not everybody. That's a couple of people. And if it was so, the city would be filled with happy hour would be every day. Happy hour is on Thursday.
He's spitting right now. That's a good example. He is spitting facts right now. 100% true.
It would be filled with people every night. Now, some people, they go home. You know why they go home? Because after they go to work, even if they don't feel like it, they got families to attend to.
Bro.
And they got to do that. That is so out of touch. That is stupid take.
all right.
And him backing
let it play for a little bit, and then we'll go.
That after you spend
I'll link the
9
video
hours
after.
being investigated by thousands of people with every facial movement, everything you say, every word, with people constantly trying to disagree with you and fight with you, that's not like socially draining.
It is. He's right. It is draining.
This is totally understandable.
Do you want to know the biggest privilege these guys got?
That part of the take was fine. It's when he compared it to other jobs, that's when it got rough.
They choose to stream 9 hours.
100%.
They literally can turn it off after 4.
I
They
can't,
can turn
but
it
like,
off after 5. But because they want to make more money, they keep streaming. And then they want to get up here and then complain about how hard it is. Who here gets...
I love it. Look at his facial. I just, the facial expressions kill me. Yep. I know.
to choose their hours at work?
Not a lot of people.
The fact that you guys even have the goal to compare yourselves to regular people when your extra hours of labor are rewarded with more and more money is...
That is actually true. Bro, I can't tell you how many times I've had to just clock out and keep working at some dead-end loser-ass job. Like, as a busboy, I worked hundreds of extra hours. Right? Like, and you don't get paid for that. Do you think as a teacher you get paid for grading papers at like 4 in the morning on a Thursday because you have to finish them? Like, no, you don't get paid for that. But as a content creator, you're compensated. And that is exactly why, again, that's another good point, bro. I didn't even think about that. That's true. But see, I've worked jobs like that, so I know.
Insane.
Teaching is the best example.
It's like the levels of disconnected people. Like, why should we feel any sympathy or give a shit about what your struggles is? You're literally choosing it. That's like you do it for money and then complaining it hurts.
Wow, this slap was hard. Slap softer. Don't slap.
Slap softer. I mean, yes, that's true, but like that works. That works for them. For smaller content creators like myself, yeah, you can't really just stop streaming. You know what I mean? You got to keep going.
Yourself, dumbass.
You just got to wake up. You got to chug your way through it, bro. There's no way around it.
Nobody cares. You have a job where you're extremely gifted and privileged. Nobody cares. You choose your hours. Shut the fuck about your problems. And certainly, if you're gonna talk about it, don't compare yourself to regular people.
I would never. You're crazy.
I'm even gonna throw OnlyFans models in there, and all the ex-workers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Once you stop, it's done for most streamers. You mean like Like once you stop streaming, you're done working. No, that's a common misconception in most cases. In most streamers, the good ones, the successful ones, you're not done when you stop streaming. You got to manage all the social media accounts. You got to record for a YouTube video. You got to manage sponsorships. You got to email people back because you haven't been on the clock for like the last 10 hours. Your sponsor tried to contact you and you weren't there. So then you got to email them. You got to get into a voice call with them. You got business meetings. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. But again, it's part of the job. You're juggling it. You know what I mean? It's not over when you're done, but you're compensated for that stuff, right? Like there's a certain level of compensation that even if I'm just answering YouTube comments, that is benefiting me as a creator overall, and you make more money down the road because you interact with your audience more, even when you're not streaming. I didn't feel that way as a teacher. I didn't feel like I was going to make any more money at the end of the year because I graded the papers faster, right? Like, no.
What they have to do to make the money that we... Shut the f*** up.
Yeah, no. Hasan and Asmon do any of that? Asmon works like around the clock. I'm telling you right now, I know, like I can tell by looking at him. That dude is putting out 3 YouTube videos a day at least, and he's streaming all the time. Now, granted, his stream is his YouTube, right? But he's also managing. He's got like 6 or 7 businesses that he is either the owner of or one of the principal owners of, right? That dude is managing everything. And even on days he's not streaming, he's got to drive out to do the Steak and Eggs podcast. He's got to drive over and do an event. He's got to do something for a sponsor. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. I'm telling you right now, that does not stop working. Okay. He's got breaks, right? Like anybody else does, right? He can sleep and he makes his own hours and whatnot, but he works a lot, almost guaranteed. He doesn't complain about it like Hasan does, but like,
yes.
Because I wouldn't do it.
In fairness, Hasan's complaint was fair. That streaming is draining. That is a fair complaint. I'm not going to make it because, like, you know, I've worked really hard jobs before. And I will say it from time to time that, guys, man, guys, I'm drained as right now. I've been streaming for 18 straight days, right? But there is no way. It's not like I'm going to say, comma, and I am more tired than you guys are after when you guys work at your jobs. No.
Do that.
No.
Shout outs to that.
Whether it's true or not is irrelevant.
Turn it off.
The shit that they would have to do to make that amount, shut up.
Do you guys realize?
Oh my
literally,
days.
if they wanted to, this is something that you regular people can't do because you're literally going to lose your homes. You know what they need to do just to solve all their problems?
Not do it.
There's something to be said about the massive scrutiny large streamers get and people like Cutie getting swatted. But again, you can't say that it's worse than literally every person barely pay rent working 60 hours a week. I'm going to be honest with you. Your entire life, you have been lied to, chat. You've been lied to your whole life. There's always this fictional saying that goes around that money can't buy happiness. Shut the up. I hate that. Of course it can. I can't even think of a goddamn problem in my life that couldn't be immediately solved by money. Okay? That's just the way that it goes. Now, not every single problem can necessarily be solved by money, but making a lot of money sure makes life a lot easier. Okay? Like, it's just that simple. Like if you're making like $100,000 a month, you're probably just generally going to be happier than someone that is making 30 grand a month. That is how it works, right? And as a streamer, Asmongold and Hasan are obviously making, like, they're up here, right? They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Like they're up here, right? Like, and there's like a bar probably for like how much like money you can make versus happiness gained. It probably does fall off after a while. You've probably seen graphs like this, but like money buys happiness. It's just that simple. At a certain point, and I don't even think it really falls off. I would be happier if I owned my own jet. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, now I'm a simple guy, so like at a certain point, like I just don't care. Hasan, I think, is different. I think Hasan likes having lots of money. You know what I mean? Like, having money is important to him. Asmon, I don't think, would give a Asmon doesn't strike me as someone that really cares about having an immense amount of wealth. Like, he wants to make sure that he's well off and has enough money and he's good at making money. Yeah, sure. But like, it doesn't strike me as someone that really gives a shit. He's happy, and that's what he cares about. So like, but it's easier to be happy when you have a lot of money in your bank account. I would know. Like, when I think back to my time teaching and before teaching, and I was in like $10,000 in credit card debt, I was never more depressed than when I was $10,000 in debt. $12,000 in credit card debt. That sucked. That was like the worst. Like, because then every purchase, you're sweating. You're always under pressure. You're like, you've got anxiety. You know what I mean? You don't want to take out the card, but you also have no money. Every time the paycheck comes in, it goes immediately all into the credit card, and then something happens and you overdraft your balance on your account. Boom, there goes $100 because the bank decides, oh yeah, it's $100 for an overdraft fee. Like, that, dude. Oh my god, that was awful. I never want to go back to that. You know what I mean? This is the first 5 months of my life where I haven't been paycheck to paycheck, living out of credit card debt or living off credit card debt. Like, I'm so much happier. I am so much happier now than when I was.
Have to turn that shit up. Do it again.
And I'm not even wealthy, bro. I drive a 2011 Mazda 3, guys. I'm still not wealthy, but like, better than I was. So it's like,
I'm gonna turn it off.
Do it again.
31, by the way. It took until I was 31 years old to get that far.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Look at this camera, dude. Look, what are they?
Someone actually said real job. What does that mean? A real job is a job that you have. Bullshit jobs are the ones that other people have. It's just that simple.
Nah. I agree with most of what Asmon's. Nah. Nah.
No.
Let him cook, though.
Okay, this is what I don't understand if these people have ever worked. What a bullshit job is a job where you are paid.
You can absolutely respect someone else's job. I don't know. There's probably some degenerates in chat right now when I say this, but like, most people, even though you aren't nurses, probably respect how much work the nurse does. There are people that don't, and those guys are pieces of shit, but like, most people can respect other people's job. You know what I mean? And the shit that goes into it. Like, it's called being empathetic, right? Just because you don't have my job doesn't mean you have a bullshit job, right?
To literally just exist. You're a number. Like, if you've ever worked for the
That was
government,
a meme? That was a joke? Okay, well, there you go. All right, so he's joking. Yeah, obviously.
there's a lot of bullshit jobs.
It's clipped out of context, so like, it's tough for me to know. But like, yeah.
Why? Because the government just got money to spend. They got to meet certain quotas. So they literally hire people. I've been told this on my job. You're there to look busy. Do you know how crazy that is? That is a bullshit job. I could get...
You guys ever have one of these jobs? I've worked at 2 of them. I have worked at 2 of these jobs. Let him explain it.
My 8 hours of work done in 2 hours.
That's
but
right.
I have to not do that so I can look busy throughout, or else if I finish it too fast and I'm too productive, either they give me another bunch of bullshit work, or they'll just literally tell me you're reprimanded for not doing your job.
Yep, been there, where you're not motivated to like do any work, because if you do work, you're gonna have to do even more work. But if you set the bar at, like, of standards impossibly low, then you don't have to do anything. I worked as a research coordinator for a while. That's it, baby, right there. Walmart 101. There it is, baby. Any Walmart homies in chat? Yes, sir. Blue, we need you to go organize aisles 9 through 30. Okay. I disappear for 4.5 hours. Like, where'd you go? Those shelves are spotless, man. Motherfucker, I could have done that in 10 minutes. Bro, you become an expert of dragging out meaningless tasks as bullshit jobs. And it's deadbeat. You're not going anywhere with it, right? It's a dead-end job. It's miserable. And your goal is to work as little as possible while you're on the clock, so that you don't have to actually do anything and get paid the same amount of money regardless.
What the
That's how it works.
is that? That is what it's called, a bullshit job. Those exist. Those exist in huge numbers. And then there's real jobs. They're not the same thing.
He makes thousands of dollars a day. Him making takes, trying to relate to normal working people is
Jesus, thousands of dollars a day. Dude. That is so much money.
stupid. Well, there are normal working people that also make thousands of dollars a day. So, like, I don't really understand, like, what your point is.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what working people you know, the normal working people that are making thousands of dollars.
Okay, so if you're making thousands of dollars, okay,
You
let
guys
him
know
go.
what thousands of dollars a day is? Let's have granted. Let's say
It's at a minimum $365,000 a year. Anyone in chat making $365,000 a year? Like, he said thousands. It's actually, we're actually $750,000 a year.
$3,000 a day. Do you know how much that is over the course?
That's a million.
of a
If you're
whole-
making $3,000 a day, that's $1 million a year. $1 million, guys. $1 million. Now, normal people don't make that. All right.
month?
That's a lot.
That's $90,000.
I make $38K a year. That much? Damn. What are you doing? That sounds like a teaching buddy right there. That's my boy. That's my boy.
a month.
Nobody.
Do you think there's people
Amazon. Amazon is paying their truck drivers more than teachers?
here
Nobody does that.
making anywhere from 60 to 70, making close to $1 million a year?
Nobody does that.
That's not normal people. No, they're not.
CEOs from companies.
Unemployed. You. That was always the worst. I'm busting my ass and some like 24-year-old kid is just like, yeah, I'm living off the government. Yeah, you're living off my taxes. But okay. Sounds good. I get it. People fall on hard times, but please don't complain to me.
Sometimes don't even do that. Stop.
This is the problem, okay? And this is what streamers and content creators, okay? Your job, okay? Is it difficult? Maybe, yes.
Some aspects,
Nobody
yeah, absolutely.
cares. Shut the up about
There it is.
You want to know why?
There it is. No one cares because you're is he going to say it's because you're compensated so much?
Because you're well compensated.
There it is. Yep.
Extremely well compensated for the
99% of content creators are not well compensated for the amount of work you put in. And any content creator in the chat would agree with me. Especially when you start out, the amount of money you put in for money earned is disproportionately bad. It's horrendously bad. It keeps getting better and better as you like get bigger as a content creator though. So like at the stage where Asmon and Hasan are, yeah, like holy shit.
level of difficulty of your job. And this is how most people internalize this and whether or not they want to hear about your suffering. How difficult is your job?
Mm-hmm.
How well do you get compensated for it?
True.
If your job is extremely difficult and hard to manage, but you get paid peanuts, complain as you want. I will never get mad at a garbage man for whining about their job. Want to know why? Because they get peanuts to go pick up your
Teaching. Garbage men are probably making more than teachers are. I don't know.
trash.
How much do garbage men make, bro?
Go ahead. Your guys' difficulty level may be at a 4 or 5, but you get compensated so goddamn well, nobody trying to hear that shit. Whenever people come to me like, man, isn't YouTube shit hard? I'm like, yeah, I guess, but
it is, but
I get paid so well, I'm gonna shut the up about it. That's what it is. Because I'm not gonna go back to my old job. Wanna know why? Because I used to get paid shit to do extremely hard work.
I'm not going to go back to my old job because they fired me. But I was still getting shit because the joke's on them. I get paid more now than I was as a teacher. Like, he's preaching. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that's most people's reality. Most people are not being compensated half as well as the difficulty of
Garbage people here get over $20 an hour. What the?
their job. So they don't want to hear you bitch and moan about the fact that it's so socially draining. Like they don't got to deal with the same shit for 1/100th of your paycheck. You're asking for sympathy whilst also belittling their experience, talk about how much harder you have it. Bro, you're not going to get nobody's sympathy. And if you don't understand that, that's because you're out of touch. Nobody
He's kind of spitting. He's kind of spitting, guys.
trying to hear that shit. And I know Asmongold knows this because a while back he was telling game developers, I don't give a how hard your shit is. Nobody's trying to hear.
That's true. I watched that video. He was like, I don't care how hard your job is. Just make the good game. If you don't make a good game, I'm going to bitch about it. Tough shit. And I was like, Damn, he not wrong though, right? Like no one cares how hard your job is. They just care about the results. A good example is artists, right? No one cares how hard artists have it or how hard you worked on the painting. If the painting sucks, we're gonna make fun of it. We're not gonna buy it. It's garbage. It doesn't matter how much time you spent on it.
Make the games.
Xavier's tweet was well intentioned, and he went on to add a lot of important.
He made a lot of very good points.
But I think it misses the perspective of the consumer.
But yeah, it does. And this is the thing: is developers need to stop. Like nobody gives.
$20 an hour is what I make now. I cleared 44K this year. That's more than I made as a teacher by a pretty clean margin. And I worked my ass off.
It's a fuck about. Oh, it's so hard. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Stop crying.
He's talking about game developers, guys. Shut up, pussy. Stop crying.
Do it or you don't. Holy fuck. Just nobody cares about, oh, it's so hard. Oh, well, this is, bro, you're talking to people that work in construction and you're going to say that it's hard? Your job could be more demanding than that. I don't know. But guess what? To them, it's not.
But now when it's
the irony, oh shit, now he's, shit.
You guys like, oh, we want, and you expect sympathy for what reason? Guys, you get paid millions of dollars.
I don't know. I think that they're being a little too critical of Asmon. Asmon agreed with the part of Hasan's take that it was like I didn't watch all of Asmon's video, but like the part that I did watch, Asmon agreed that streaming is draining, and it is a totally fair statement, and that there are elements of streaming that are much harder than other jobs, right? Like that you just simply don't struggle with at other jobs, right? But like every job, I'm fairly certain he said in no uncertain terms that like every job is going to have its hardships, and no one gives a shit about the problems with your job. He did agree with Hasan overall, but like
half of the time you guys sit down,
and that's why they're upset.
The screen's shutting the fuck up while something else plays. Okay, you're just reacting, or sometimes you play the fucking video and you leave your screen for 30 minutes. You eat on the job. Like, don't pretend like.
Yeah, I have Factor. It's great.
This shit is crazy. Is it socially draining? Sure, I could see that. Don't act like your job is special in comparison to others. It's not. It's not.
Oh no, it is special. It's especially easier than that. It's special the other way.
Being in the middle.
Streaming is hard in its own right. You have to be mentally tough, emotionally tough, and you have to be extroverted through and through. You have to be a social unit, right? You have to understand that stuff. But physically, right? Most of it, like, and then like, as far as like making your own hours, clocking in, clocking out, reporting to a boss, like, you know, like all of those things are missing from this job, and it makes it way easier to approach, you know, from that standpoint. So does it have its hard points? Absolutely. I'm not going to say streaming is an easy job. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But it's also not nearly as hard as like a normal job that is going to make you live paycheck to paycheck, giving you minimum wage. That shit sucks, dude.
Military, socially draining. Working sales, socially draining. Even when I didn't even have to work, when I was doing remote work and it was just be myself with my coworkers, it was socially draining to have to sit in Zoom calls and listen to people babble about some dumb shit. Or sitting there looking at a spreadsheet and then having to type shit out and my brain just wants to melt. You think after that I want to go talk to a bunch of people?
Is a YouTube game hard?
That kind of conflicts with what he said earlier, because earlier he was like, well, I could understand it because people want to go out and socialize after work. And then he was like, no, they don't. Happy hour's only on Thursday, not every day of the week. And then he just basically said exactly that.
I don't know. What you do for a living? I'm a pastry chef. What time do you get up in the morning?
Yo, Jexy, that's amazing, bro.
Every morning I wake up at 5 in the morning. I gotta be the pastry, but that's worse than my boss. My boss has to be be there at 3 to get the orders in and this and that and that and that.
I think the biggest reason, okay, this is completely unrelated. I think the biggest reason people don't become bakers is because you have to wake up that early in the morning. Honestly, that's the biggest deterrent.
And everything and stuff. And how much is that? Oh, that's 12 hours. My job is good. My job is good. What the fuck you mean? I get to talk to people and I make so much money, more money than I have in.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't boil it down that much. Like Asmon said before, yeah, everything you say and do, every gesture, every react, every sentence that you say is going to get clipped out of context, is going to be scrutinized. People are going to shit on you. People are going to scream at you. You're going to get a lot of hate. That's kind of rough. Like, that's pretty rough, man. Like, so, like, this is kind of underselling it, right? Like,
Then in my life, and it's so hard because of the comments and everything and stuff, and I get to take breaks whenever the fuck you see all this on.
you do not take do you guys see me get up from my chair while I'm streaming? There's no breaks. If I get up and walk away, I lose 200 viewers right now. Are you crazy?
All the people that are like, yeah, Son, you're dumb. You're talking to people that cannot come, that they're not even understanding, and they never had to understand what you're doing and what you're living. And as a matter of fact, I'm glad that all this happened, all this in my life happened, the YouTube game and the comedy and this and that and whatever happened now. So even though I am here where I'm at right now, doing what I do, I can still connect with you because I got the experience of having to do that and having the bullshit jobs. And I've been doing jobs.
Same.
Sometimes they come to me, some coworkers come to me and be like, yo, you need to slack because you're making us look bad.
I've been there. Look at that face. Look at this shit. What are they doing right now? So stupid. They're good, man. These guys are good. I like them. Oh god, what did he even just say? I completely forgot what the he just said.
Like, yo, you need to slack because
oh yeah,
you're making us look bad.
Yeah, I've had people come up to me at work and be like, bro, you need to stop working that hard. You're making the rest of us look bad. And we're all gonna again, the idea at work, when you're all working at a job that you don't want to be at, everybody's trying to do the minimum that they can to get by, not get reported, not get fired, and still get paid the money. Right? And if you're doing this much work, okay, if you're doing that much work and everybody else is doing this much work, everybody's going to get pissed with you. Okay, so you either got to bring it. It's like at Walmart. If you try to overachieve at Walmart, people are going to be mad with you. People are going to be giga pissed. And do you think that the managers are going to care? Hey, good job today. No one cares. No one gives you a pat on the back.
Listen. Nobody wants to hear about a problem.
No.
That's sad though. I've never had a job like that. We've never had a job that you just genuinely didn't have your heart in. I'm glad that you haven't had a job like that. I've been working since I was 16. Like I said, I listed all the jobs before, or a lot of the jobs before. I've worked at dozens of different jobs. And like the vast majority of them, you don't want to do it. And if you aren't there, like if the only reason you're at the job is for money, you're going to do the minimum you can to get that paycheck, right? Like that's just eventually how it kind of evolves. Like
nobody gives a
okay? Your problems are of your own choice, and literally it's because you're greedy. Because you're greedy.
Part of the reason I like streaming so much, I work 70 to 90 hours a week, guys. We got 2 YouTube videos a day. We're streaming like 45 hours a week on average. Last week was less because I got sick and stuff. But like you're like 45 hours a week, and that's just streaming. On top of the YouTube stuff, on top of recording, because we put out guides, on top of like script writing, the sponsorship management, like the answering like social media stuff, and responding to stuff and like managing those accounts and then YouTube comments and stuff. That's a lot of time. But also I don't complain about it because I love doing it. So like it makes the job way easier when you like to do it. These other jobs, these soul-suckingly shitty jobs like construction, you don't want to go out and pour cement in 104-degree heat. That sucks, man. That shit blows. Like no one wants to do that. It makes the job way harder to do. And it's already a shitty job.
Just turn it off. This is so stressful, bro.
God damn, can I try?
Go ahead. Look at how hard this is.
Is it the button on top?
Yeah. Turn it off.
On and off?
We're about to live a good life.
The red one?
Yeah, I'm about to go make love to my wives.
Okay, did you catch that? Did you catch the last? It was subtle. Oh my god, dude. The plural. That was too good.
Oh my god, working out is so hard. I work out 7 hours. Stop working out that much. Go home, drink water, sleep. Anything else.
The lean out from behind. These guys are great. This is S tier content.
Just stop. Okay. All right. All right, that's it for today's video. By the way, we got our second channel, Abba Preaching the Floor, where we like to enjoy ourselves. Do all the funny stuff, Jubilee cut videos, you can get them there. We got Discord, check that out too. All right? Bye.
I love it. This is the video here. This is Abba and Preach. If you've never seen them before, they're really big YouTubers. Like massive YouTubers. This is an incredibly good video. I do agree with like most of the takes in the video. I'm sure that Asmon has in fact I saw Asmon responded to it. Sadly, Asmon's response is like it's like an hour and 47 minutes. I'm not gonna watch an hour and 47 minute video. You're crazy. But like, yeah, I would agree with most of what they said. As someone that worked in the shitty jobs, right? I've been around. I haven't done every job, and I'm not claiming to know, but like, I've probably worked, probably worked a little bit at more variety jobs than probably Hasan. That's how we're gonna say it.